problem with politically correct people is that they're too busy hating themselves to see the real injustices occurring in the world. Ravi Crux. We now live in a world where all kids are queer, where every human being apparently is Mr. Potato Head with interchangeable parts that they can remove or replace as they see fit, or were entirely new genders that never existed on this planet, and where pedophilia is just misunderstood. How many more facts do you need to understand that this liberal ideology is dangerous? There is currently no taboo that exists that would violate that way of thinking. Is it normal for a species to want to be so self-destructive? Is this the type of thing that leads to some sort of apocalypse like we've seen in the past with other cultures, such in South America? This is disturbing. This is not just unnatural, but violently dangerous. And the fact that we have scientists and doctors leveraging their degrees and backgrounds to show some kind of support for this mental illness is even further evidence of an ideological effect. It is never a healthy thing to want to remove parts of your body. It is never a safe thing to want to damage children. It is never a wise thing to allow others to continue to live within a delusion. So why are we even allowing this to happen? You know in your heart of hearts the reason. We've been too compassionate for too long. We've given in and allowed this appeasement philosophy. We've allowed others to railroad us, to soften us, bully us, tell us that we are wrong, and that we're just living off old rules that are antiquated and outdated. And another question you should ask yourself is, should we even help them? At the current rate, they aren't likely to be along after a couple generations. As self-destructive as this way of living is, they'll end up just being a giant fur ball on the ground with a piercing, chanting about how much they hate America. But let's consider a couple basic concepts. Human beings are a species. In order for our population to continue to survive, we must breed, we must grow, and we must advance. That is the basic nature of how we are. If we're not, in layman's terms, just going out there and having babies, there'll be none of us left, no children left, to give us a future, to aspire to dream about, to hope for, to know that we've left a mark on this planet when we pass, to feel comfort in knowing that however you see the end of life, that at least you did something of some note to somebody or for somebody that will help keep human beings existing on this planet. I realize that that diatribe of mine borders on the metaphysical, but without those basic concepts, without strong families raising strong children with critical thinking skills that will make them self-reliant, then the clock on our species will start ticking. Yes, there are 7 billion people on this planet. Yes, many argue that we are currently at a level of overpopulation. And people will argue, so then what's the harm in allowing these people to do whatever they see fit? The problem is that this type of delusion infects others, even those families that try to do the right thing. It's hard enough to raise a child. It's even more so when the outside world is filled with people who promote destructive behaviors. And when they do these things en masse, they're attempting to generate it as a norm. That is something that should never be tolerated. Try to help their delusions. Find professionals that are willing to acknowledge reality and address the situation as it actually is, and needs to be publicly called out and put down when groups and organizations attempt to rationalize or allow it. The quality of society around us affects the home life. It's time to change what society is pushing. It's time to end the bullshit. Hey guys, Ravi Crux here. If you'd like some of the material that I'm putting together, feel free to add me up and subscribe on the various social media websites. You can find me on Gab, Twitter, VidMe, and YouTube. Thanks again. Ravi Crux. Indoctrination is everywhere.